We got to get ourselves underway for February on the stream. Got a lot of work to do to keep up with the success we had in January, and we're going to be working pretty much non-stop to make that happen. To the bottom left-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Team Liquid, it is MaNa. And to the upper right-hand side, the red Protoss player from Armor Team, ShoWTimE. So, game number 1. Best of 5, first to 3 map wins is the victor. Currently a $75-$25 prize pool, but of course, again, you guys can increase that with the exclamation mark match Reno page. Do make sure you check that out as we get this up and going in the next few moments. A couple of simulators on the way down. And that's just going to be seeing this gateway on the way up as well on the bottom left. And again, obviously PvP opens a little bit differently to some of the other matchups, or well, most of the other matchups, because you pretty much always will see these 2 gates apiece. If I'm remembering correctly, we don't currently have a map which has like an in-base expand, and so there's probably not going to be any sort of like 1-gate plays here. Very rare to be seeing that outside of something like a map which has like your in-base natural. So probably just going to be seeing a lot of 2-gate expands here, or 2-gate into pressure plays. A lot of aggression possible as well, you know, hiding tech on the map, proxying a 3rd or 4th gateway, and just being super hyper-aggressive with gateway units. There's so much potential here. And we're just going to be seeing this probe patrolling down to the bottom right-hand side as this probe from MaNa comes up to the top to see what's going to happen. So the probe's working away at this here. We're just going to be seeing this probe going to go back out in towards the center of the map. 2 stalkers currently on the way up here from ShoWTimE. There's going to be seeing a stalker and a sentry from MaNa currently building as well. This probe comes down and does throw up a pylon in the natural expansion, and we're just going to be seeing this probe of ShoWTimE patrolling as well as this Miss Magimech box. It's just going to sit just out of vision range every now and then. It knows there's going to be a Stargate down here, but of course ShoWTimE does not. Sorry, of course MaNa does not. So ShoWTimE hides the Stargate to start this up, as MaNa's going to block the natural for a moment. ShoWTimE should actually get his stalkers onto that. Small mistake from him at the moment, but he'll get that sorted out and he'll begin to get ready to expand in that location. And so far, nothing from MaNa apart from just gateway production. Extra stalkers on the way out. Did spend some of his initial gas on a sentry. And outside of that, of course, just building up the money to probably throw down and expand here as soon as actually MaNa finds the Stargate in the bottom right corner. So MaNa sees this early, and so now we'll know what's going on. And knowing that this is coming up, of course, it's a big deal for MaNa. We'll be able to respond to that as this stalker from ShoWTimE continues to come down to the south side to do a little bit more. So stalker coming all the way down to the south, gateway on the way up, a couple more stalkers on the way out. This Nexus is going to be finishing very soon on the natural expansion. And this probe of MaNa is also going to be hunted down by ShoWTimE. He picks up that kill. So that probe does go down, and ShoWTimE is moving back onto the center of the map now, as we're going to see a few more stalkers continue to poke across here. A few more stalkers of MaNa continue to get set up, and we're just going to be seeing this Nexus. It's currently halfway done, as now MaNa proxies a gateway across the map. He's still on 1 base. So actually MaNa here might just be looking for a big counterattack after defending the initial Oracle or so. That could be interesting as the hallucination gets shut down by those stalkers just out at the front, so denies the vision for MaNa as ShoWTimE expands back at home here. Just going to see this Oracle just outside of the base. There's 4 stalkers moving up, and also so far, very nearly getting a kill, but not quite. And one of the stalkers here from ShoWTimE is very damaged, and he actually does get a stalker for a stalker. That's going to be 1 more stalker kill for MaNa. And remember, MaNa will be able to warp in on this top side of the map here in a moment, so maybe ShoWTimE is in some trouble. 2 of these Oracles gather together and get ready to dive in towards the main base. 2 stalkers coming in already. These Oracles just getting to work. The shield battery doesn't do anything when 2 Oracles attack at once, so 6 workers go down. MaNa's economy is, well, pretty low, as ShoWTimE is now realizing probably that this natural expansion is maybe a little bit ambitious from himself. Pulls back up to the high ground, and we'll start the shield battery up here. A little bit of an easier spot to defend, and might buy him some time for that shield battery to come up too. Even bringing the Oracles back to defend this now, as we're going to be seeing MaNa is starting to lead the charge up this ramp. Oh, nice force field though, and that's 2 stalkers that are just destined to go down now, trapped in here by that force field. Very nicely done, and MaNa punished for just having a little bit of a gander up this ramp, looking to see what's going on. This Nexus still taking a little bit more damage, And it will be going down eventually, it seems, as ShoWTimE doesn't seem to... Well, I mean, he actually has to kill this pylon to move down the ramp, so it's probably not going to happen as he just gets an immortal up for now. Still has his oracles across the map, because although they are just going to die for a few more probes again, attacking at the same time means those probes go down without the shield battery helping them, and that's 5 kills. Stalker's still not quite able to pick up that oracle kill, and so 5 more workers. MaNa down by 11. Obviously no natural from either player though just at the moment, and so the extra workers here from ShoWTimE, I mean 7 of them will be helping a little bit, but nowhere near as much as they would be on a fresh base, so the income difference is not going to be that huge. And ShoWTimE just stabilizes himself on the one base for now. Still, Immortal is here, and he's actually taken down that. He's actually going to start moving down, but the sentry there makes it more difficult, so he's going to wait for the Warp Prism instead. The Warp Prism will allow him to micro his way down that ramp and have a little bit more safety while doing so, as the Stalkers will get shut down this Stargate. Actually, MaNa needs to be a bit careful with this Warp Prism coming into play. He might be in some trouble unless he tries to recall back. I'm not sure. Anyways, the depths move down here, and that's maybe already the sign of needing to be a little bit careful. As here we go. Well, the Warp Prism is going to be able to micro, as we said, and he is going to be able to push that back. So players will be able to expand now if they want to. ShoWTimE has the money, so it looks as though he will, but MaNa has Blink on the way and still no Nexus. Looks as though he has no intentions of expanding here still. Just want to take a moment as the game calms down, then as players back away from each other, to say thank you very much to the That's Impossible Bro. He just hit us up with that sub. Thank you so much for joining the Wardy family. There's some Wardy hearts in the chat for That's Impossible Bro, and welcome to the Wardy fam. Thank you for subscribing and supporting the stream and the content. As you will see though, MaNa is now back onto the map, and so things are getting set up to be aggressive once again. This time he has Blink, but the immortal count is rising. ShoWTimE will have more of a defense than before. As he begins to expand, he'll throw down the shield battery too. What can MaNa achieve here? As this gateway might be unpowered, that would be a huge deal. The Oracle's coming over to help. It might even be worth just diving for the pylon, which he will do. It costs him an Oracle and a Stalker, but actually, I mean, that just slows down so many reinforcements. I mean, the pylon here is nowhere near as effective because those warpings are just so slow. So that's a pretty unfortunate scenario. As we're going to see sentries here, might not be the best with Blink available, of course, but what do you do? Actually blink forwards? Oh, Blink's not ready just yet, so actually MaNa loses a bunch of Stalkers. Now MaNa's actually looking in trouble, because at this stage there's just 2 Immortals, and how do you break this? The Stalker count's already been chipped away at throughout the game, and it really feels as though MaNa is in a fantastic, was in a fantastic spot to maybe do something, but ShoWTimE's defense has just been pristine again and again and again. Those Oracles put in a lot of work as well, picking off what, like 12 workers throughout this, and just keeping MaNa in a position where he had to keep rebuilding probes, where he could never just focus fully on the game and what he wanted to do in particular. We're going to be seeing the Stalkers taking a little bit more damage. We're just going to be seeing the Guardian Shield popping up. A couple of probes are going to come into the right-hand side as well, and they're going to get taken down pretty quickly here. So they go down pretty fast. We're going to see this Warp Prism come back over to the left. And again, those Adepts are going to be unloading in the next few moments. Twilight Council continues to come up on the top right-hand side. Again, just going to see that Warp Prism continue to move around again. The Twilight going to be about halfway done at the moment. Stalkers continue to push forwards, and the Immortals are able to kind of chip away at one of those Stalkers again. Going to see a Guardian Shield there to help kind of just protect as he pushes forwards, and a couple of Force Fields on either side helping out both players, but it's MaNa who is really just not getting the better end of it, because ShoWTimE, he dodges around those Force Fields, he still picks off a Stalker, and well, now ShoWTimE up 86 to 64 supply. As you're going to see, this army is moving forwards. We'll be able to pick away at that pylon. Pylon falls, and we're just going to be seeing MaNa again. He has seen what else is happening. A few Immortals just poking towards the front, as we do see this Forge on the way up in the main base. 2 more Robo Facilities on the way down here. At the moment, MaNa is going to see those Adepts shading forwards. Sentries are going to start taking a little bit of damage as well. As you're going to see, actually just a straight up recall here as ShoWTimE gets a kill and now jumps into the main mineral line. And that's, you know, another 5 workers going down here. Every time something hits this main base mineral line, basically 5 workers fall. Might even get a 6 here, as this probe to the left side isn't in range of a shield battery to get protected, despite only 1 Adept remaining alive. Nicely done, as we do see. Well, ShoWTimE now pushing across the map, and it looks as though it's going to be time for ShoWTimE to shut this down and to take game number 1 of this best of 5 series. A valiant effort from MaNa. One wasted for a long time here, but really ShoWTimE's defense was the one we've got to talk about at this point, because he was just so good at it throughout the game. He just never let up, and he never really made any mistakes in his defense. As now you see those Stalkers pick off a hallucination, and well, more of these units of ShoWTimE actually going to back away for a moment as he takes a third Nexus, maybe a little bit afraid to commit. I mean, sometimes, you know, looking at this as a point of view of, hey, better safe than sorry, can work out. And well, I mean, obviously ShoWTimE has all the advantages to play with, right? He's going to be taking extra gates, he's got the third Nexus on the way, charge, +1. Everything right now looks great from ShoWTimE, so rather than trying to push up this ramp into sentries, he's just going to wait a little while longer, let this game just play out a little bit here, as we're going to see those units continue to gather together. Hallucinated Phoenix gets taken down, is going to be seeing this charge on the way up from ShoWTimE right now. This Stalker from ShoWTimE comes down towards the right-hand side. More of these Stalkers of MaNa are going to be coming through the center as well to see if they can just do a little bit more here. And we've seen the Templar Archives is currently on the way up and continue to set up into this right now. ShoWTimE is going to keep on pushing and we'll be able to just blink back a few of those Stalkers. Now blinking forwards. Force field comes down, just a little bit of something. And yeah, those Immortals continue to gather together as well. As going to see that Templar Archives coming up to being about 75% of the way done. Going to be finishing very soon. The Templar Archives will open up the doorway to be able to start making Archons in this composition. Obviously, that's just a whole new level of something else and something extra to add in. As we're going to see these Stalkers of MaNa continuing to push on forwards here a little. Stalker poking and prodding. On this warp gate at the top side, Observer up here as well, +2 attack, charge on the way out, and still setting up into this here. ShoWTimE just in the middle of the map here, waiting to see what's going to happen next. Again, MaNa's just got that. I mean, both players have the blink, but obviously the highest Stalker count from MaNa means that he kind of feels confident moving on the map. He needs 20 workers down though, and he has less Immortals. He doesn't have +1. And those are all features here. That means that this fight is probably not going to go his way as well. The initial startup begins. The Warp Prism is here to try and help out as ShoWTimE. I mean, it's just the Immortals are just going to chew their way through absolutely everything throughout this engagement. And I mean, a few Zealots warp in, but what are they really going to add to this? Not a lot. They tank like 3 or 4 shots of Immortals, but there's just so much here. And ShoWTimE will end up taking game 1 of this best of 5. Now we head on into the second map. I'm currently up, down a game, sorry, to the top left-hand side of Acid Plant, our Red Protoss play from Team Liquid. It is MaNa. Currently playing against the Blue Protoss to the bottom right-hand side. It is ShoWTimE. So, setting up into this and looking to see how this will go. As you're going to be seeing the gate on the way up on each side, assimilator coming through. Obviously expecting the double gateway, double gas play here to start things off in game 2 of this. As you get the setup, we get this going in the next few moments. Look to see just what these players are going to open up with this time around in terms of following on from the double gateway. You know, obviously last time MaNa stayed on one base and showed us how aggressive he can be with that, but obviously ShoWTimE was the one who tried to expand and showed us that you can still defend that aggression as well, even if sometimes you have to give the expansion up. So probe coming in towards the upper left-hand side. All the way towards the upper left-hand side, you see a pylon on the way on both sides of things. Cybercore coming through, and again, ShoWTimE just looking pretty okay so far. As we're going to be seeing the couple of gates going to finish up in a moment or so. Cybercore about to finish, and we set up into this. Probes just picking up that early info as well. MaNa's probe much later on the scout here than ShoWTimE's, but I mean overall a fairly minimal difference. I don't think there's going to be much MaNa sees that he would have seen if he, you know, he's not going to miss out on seeing anything, right? So all okay, and he sees a pylon low ground, so obviously ShoWTimE looking to try and expand, and he actually pulls back down, and MaNa probably wanted to try and block here a little bit, as ShoWTimE does the same thing, blocks this natural expansion, with that pylon already being placed. 2 Stalkers of ShoWTimE pushing out in towards the center of the map, and this pylon of MaNa probably going to go down in the near future, as we're just going to be seeing this gateway coming up in the main. We'll get on the way from both players, and again that Nexus on its way on this natural. Still just seeing this probe just scan around here, MaNa going all the way towards the upper right hand side. Just looking to pick up some info at the moment as you see 2 Stalkers of ShoWTimE coming out onto the map. Stargate to begin with here from ShoWTimE. This time obviously not proxied as it was in the last game, but still a fairly standard way to get going. He's actually going up to a 3rd gateway as well, so actually a little bit of a fake out here. ShoWTimE never actually took his expansion, and with a 3rd gateway, this begins to look very aggressive. Probes pass by each other, however, and that's a little bit concerning because, of course, ShoWTimE will probably want to put a pylon up here. Maybe even another gateway. Well, there's the pylon. And now these Stalkers just sitting at the front. It's a good map to be aggressive on because there's no ramp up into the natural, and that means that you can poke forwards with Stalkers and other units very easily. MaNa can't use a high ground advantage for himself, as we are going to be seeing those Stalkers coming into the main base once again. Phoenix still coming down to the south, looking to see what else is going on. I'm just going to be seeing 2 more Stalkers to the right hand side as well. Robo facility on the way up. Nexus about to finish, and again 2 more Stalkers coming through here. Robo facility still continuing on. More Stalkers just gathering up. Shield batteries on the way out. Blink does start, as the shield battery is obviously going to be a big part of this. He's actually getting one on each mineral line probably to protect you a little bit, but now he pulls up to the high ground, realizing, kind of similarly to what ShoWTimE realized in the last game, that ShoWTimE is being very aggressive, and so going to take this position up here, and of course with a Twilight he has to wait for Blink to finish until he can really push back down, rather than with the Robo, happens a little bit faster with an Immortal and a Prism, so a little bit unfortunate here with the choice of builds. We're going to see this Oracle, just 1 kill on it. Shield battery now finishes, this Nexus will fall. Now I imagine ShoWTimE will probably expand a lot faster than MaNa. I'd be surprised if ShoWTimE went into a big kind of follow-up, kind of continued 1-base play, although he is building a Robo facility that is back at home. I imagine he will just throw down a Nexus, because I just don't see how he feels he'll be able to do more in this game in the near future. And of course, it's only going to get worse with Blink coming up. And that's when MaNa will get on the map and may be able to get something done as we see these Stalkers moving on out. So Stalkers move out into the middle, as we're going to see MaNa on the top side is moving out of his base as well. There's Oracle still coming through as well. Coming through the top, we're going to be seeing these Stalkers able to kind of pick off this pylon as well. As that pylon goes down, another pylon on top right, is going to be seeing more Stalkers of ShoWTimE coming back towards the natural here. A shield battery on the way up, and this Observer being chrono boosted out of this robotics facility now. As we're going to be seeing this pylon, it's going to be finishing up in this main base. A lot more Stalkers coming down the left side here, and we'll be continuing to head across through this south side in towards the natural. In the main obviously wants to try and do something with that Blink play. I was just going to be seeing the couple of sentries continue to warp in as well. And still this probe, coming down to the bottom left hand side, is just going to be seeing the Stalkers getting ready to fight each other. Nice Blink so far. No Blink of course here for ShoWTimE. He does have the shield battery on his side, the defensive position, and now an Immortal too. He's actually going to pick up 1 Stalker still. And so far, ShoWTimE looking good once again. No matter how these games open, and obviously for both players, they've opened very differently with how they've approached the game. But so far, ShoWTimE seems to get the upper hand in both scenarios here, as we are going to be seeing these Stalkers coming back towards the top of this ramp. 2 Stalkers get shut down instantly, though, and the rest of those Stalkers blinking away from MaNa back into the middle. A few more probes getting picked off as well, as the Oracle dove into the natural and did get a few of these workers without a shield battery nearby. So that's nice by the Oracle, but it did get taken down, so no more continued pressure. ShoWTimE just going to use this upper right hand side pylon to get 2 Adepts onto the map. Then he can shade into those mineral lines and start picking his way a few more of those probes, I'm sure, and to get a bit more damage done. All over again as MaNa's still coming down the left hand side, blinking around here, forging a Twilight Council on the way up from ShoWTimE. As he continues to set up into this, those sentries are moving out too, looking to see what they can set up for. And the Stalkers from MaNa still just coming over, and now we see ShoWTimE's going to arrive, and he is going to be able to start poking his way through that as well. Gateway bottom left as MaNa, 3 more gates in general, is just going to try and win this off of pure Blink Stalker, it seems. There's 2 Adepts arriving as natural, though ShoWTimE's taking a worker lead, an army supply lead. Obviously ShoWTimE's Twilight's only just finishing, but he's got a Robo up, and Immortals in the army is obviously a lot better. We're going to see this army setting up. Then we're going to see more Stalkers from MaNa getting ready to go. A couple of Adepts shading forwards once again in towards the main base. I mean, this is where ShoWTimE can really shine, and if he gets a couple more kills here, this could be painful, although a little bit of a disjointed attack there initially means it will just be a couple of workers, not even that now, only one. Well, here we go, a big fight starts up. The force fields to block these Immortals off. One of the sentries gets caught too. ShoWTimE responding with his own force fields and the shield batteries. He's got multiple of them here to help out. I mean, the Immortals just cannot join this fight, but when these force fields begin to fade away, that will become a lot better for MaNa, of course, for ShoWTimE, of course. ShoWTimE now losing out on his sentries. A Warp Prism arrives to help with the micro, as again, it's just those Immortals are going to be a little bit too good, and MaNa is not going to break through. Now he's out of force field energy. Those Immortals are actually going to be able to join the fight, and they are going to get rid of Stalkers so quickly. And that's going to be MaNa's issue. He's a little bit ahead on army supply, but I don't even think the blink advantage is going to save him now, because ShoWTimE kind of has a blink of his own with this Warp Prism. It's going to continue throwing down some bits and pieces. We are going to be seeing sentries continue to take some more damage. Stalkers still being brought back by the Warp Prism so far. The sentry's going to keep on falling, and still those Immortals are so far untouched. Some Adepts will join the army, and they'll tank a bit of the damage, and maybe ShoWTimE has to back away here for a moment or two. We'll continue to fight with the Warp Prism and micro, as he will now lose the Prism, but that's extra time where the Stalkers are dealing damage to something that is not these Immortals. And now the Stalker count is very low. Reinforcements from ShoWTimE are hitting just a little bit faster, and hence able to push MaNa away. Can turn and fight once more. One more Immortal is going to go down, perhaps. It's so low, but another Immortal joins the fray. And so MaNa is pushed back. ShoWTimE has done it. He's defended, and now he's kind of got a shield battery to bring his Immortal back up to health. That is not a good blink at all, as MaNa, I think, in a way, just maybe wants to try and grab some information as to night. And as we get into this now, to the bottom right-hand side, we are with our player who's currently 0-2 down. If there's someone that needs to change it up and find a way back into the series, it's this guy from Team Liquid. Let's hear it if you're cheering on MaNa. And to the upper left-hand side, the red Protoss player from Armor Team. It is ShoWTimE here. As he is 2-0 up and looking to take it all the way through into a victory. And of course, if you guys still want to support these players today, you can do so on the Matcherino page, ! Matcherino in the chat to get that link. The coupon codes have been used, but if you could support with a few dollars of your own, it goes a long way to helping out the players. And it's also to be able to raise the prize pool of our event as well. Of course, if you're really enjoying the stream, again, one last time I'm going to say it tonight, but you can support the channel on right here, and you can support me to allow me to stay as a full-time StarCraft 2 caster, streamer, and content producer. So if you want to do that, ! Nothing, because you can just subscribe, follow, cheer, all the usual stuff. I'm sure you guys know it by now. Just worth mentioning now and then to keep you guys up to date as MaNa. Actually kind of blocking ShoWTimE into his base here with this pylon. It's kind of sick. I mean, I guess ShoWTimE's not too rushed about kind of getting his worker up. We're actually going to see another pylon here. That's from ShoWTimE. MaNa still has the probe here as well. I mean, the good thing about this is that the Stalkers will pop out and they'll get rid of this pylon, and they'll be able to get rid of the probe. So there's a couple of guaranteed kills. As you're all going to be seeing, MaNa will lose some minerals to do this. And, well, does he actually slow ShoWTimE down too much? I don't think so, really. And that probe, one hit away from death, does go down now. I'm just going to be seeing 2 more Stalkers on the way up, which will help a lot when it comes to shutting down these initial Adepts. As MaNa opening a little bit different here for the 2 gateways. Adepts for the first time in this series. Try and dive that mineral line to do some damage early on. Obviously, those Adepts just shade away for the moment, but 2 more Stalkers are already hot on their heels, aware of where they went, although now they see the shades again. Well, 2 more Stalkers on the way again, and a pylon to block, so if there's Adepts commit over there, actually kind of a little bit stuck, and maybe these Stalkers kind of sit out here and just watch for those shades once more. Because for the moment, they're going to hide in the corner, but actually going to shade towards the natural ramp, which means those Adepts might be in just a little bit of trouble here, as, well, obviously ShoWTimE knows they're somewhere nearby. He'll come in, and 2 Stalkers are going to start hunting them down. Meanwhile, across the map, a pylon being placed, and ShoWTimE is on 4 gateways. Wow, so he's actually gone up to 4 gates? He's actually going to go for a 4 gate here. And you know what? With the initial Adept still across the map, ShoWTimE can just warp in a lot of units on this side, and he's going to outnumber MaNa so quickly. 2 gates and an Oracle on the way. I mean, the Oracle just doesn't help at all. A Voider would be amazing, but he just doesn't know this is happening. A shield barrier will help a lot too, though. Let's see if it's going to be enough, as we actually see 2 of these Stalkers actually recall back home to defend aware of the Stargate, it seems. Just going to get ready for that. There's already a lot of this shield battery energy drained, actually. That's a pretty big deal, though. MaNa has a very low health... ShoWTimE has a low health Stalker. That's a little bit of an issue as well. There's more Stalkers still just warping in. This first Oracle coming around the left-hand side. It's going to be moving forward soon. You're going to see the first Stalkers taking some hits, and now we'll be going down pretty quickly. Took a little while to actually target fire down the the extra shots he needed to finish these kills. You're going to see the shield battery here obviously just out of energy. Doesn't really have much to add to the equation. As we are going to see ShoWTimE continue with this 4-gate play. Now actually these two Stalkers are going to come down and actually fight this one Adept, as we're going to be seeing it actually will shade up to the high ground, but there's a shield battery in location. The Oracle so far hasn't done anything, just sat bottom left, and another one on the way. Shield battery is taking some more damage as a sentry comes up, some more Stalkers, and just MaNa, I don't know if he really realizes that this is straight up 4 gateways, because he really is just still fighting this on the low ground very aggressively. You'll see another Stalker going down here, another couple Stalkers, and now this might be problematic, as you're going to see the sentry here, of course, can help out a lot too, and MaNa is in a full-on retreat mode all the way into his main. If he loses this pylon, that would be bad for him, but he pulls probes to obviously buy himself a little bit of time. ShoWTimE dodges away nicely, trying to just micro so that he can still pick up Stalker kills here. Stalker for Stalker in that volley. He's going to see another warpin, should be ready soon, and there it is, coming in near the Nexus. Probe still dealing some damage as ShoWTimE's next warpin is just started. It takes a long time. Now 2 Oracles hit the main base, and so ShoWTimE will start to lose some of his workers, but he's still winning this Stalker fight. But there's the shield battery in the main mineral line, and that's going to do a lot. But MaNa, well, he will force this down the ramp. ShoWTimE can maybe look for that pylon, but look at how many of these probes are just going to end up going down. I mean, ShoWTimE loses all of his eco, so now no more warpins, so it's 100% down to these units, which he has here right now. He's going to start doing some damage, but, I mean, the shield battery obviously complicates things. I guess if he can stop a warpin of units, it's still possible here for ShoWTimE. Warp into the top side, and ShoWTimE needs to identify this and get rid of those Stalkers. He doesn't quite have enough to one-shot the Stalkers here, though, and that's painful. He'll get 2 of them now, but the probes are helping enough. Still a little bit of money in the bank for MaNa, so even a Zealot or 2 could come into play. The shield battery gets some energy back again. 2 Stalkers against now 4, as those probes are still doing a massive part of this damage. Even the Oracles coming back home can help enough with this, as ShoWTimE is going to lose his last units. MaNa will stay alive in the series. He takes the 3rd game, and that is going to be that. GG's, MaNa in game. So let's do this. To the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player from Team Liquid is MaNa. Bottom right, blue Protoss player. Let's hear it for ShoWTimE. Those birds are so loud. It's crazy. It's kind of funny. So, game number 4, as we set up into this, going to see a simulator coming down already, and that's going to be getting in towards this now. Game 4 of this best of 5. Who are you all cheering for in the chat? Are we cheering for MaNa to get a 5th game out of this? Or are we cheering on ShoWTimE? Who's on which side of things here? Let us know in the chat. I want to hear who you guys are supporting today. As we do just see gates on the way up. Just 1 gate though from MaNa. We talked about, you know, we probably won't see a single gateway play in this series. And we will not. He actually throws down a 2nd gateway. Just a little bit behind that is ShoWTimE. I guess it wasn't too far behind. I mean, again, I was sort of thinking, well, maybe because it's such a large map, the possibility is maybe kind of there, but it's not going to be the case here. Not going to risk it being a game down. Just going to play the 2 gate. Nice and standard as you continue this on as we get this set up and ready to go. So, just going to see this probe coming in from MaNa, having a little bit of a look around to see what's going to go down, as we are going to be going into the stage of this game. That's going to be kind of interesting. We haven't really seen kind of a later game PvP develop between the 2 of them just yet. A lot of this has been about ending it early and putting themselves into good positions to, you know, again, just end it in the mid game and stuff like that. We've seen a lot of 1-base attempts as well, which obviously is always kind of very interesting, I suppose, as we do see probes nibbling at each other here to get started. Nice startup. Probe facilities on the way up. Stargate dropping down as well for ShoWTimE. As you will see this probe nibbling on that pylon as well in the natural. 2 Stalkers starting to move out, and just going to be seeing this probe of MaNa on its way up towards the upper left hand side as well. It's done scouting here. It's done its job of dropping down that pylon and blocking a bit. As we are going to be seeing two Stalkers of ShoWTimE on the hunt to maybe get something done. Coming all the way up to the upper left, but obviously shouldn't really be able to do anything. Two Stalkers out and two more very soon to pop. MaNa should be able to defend with quite a bit of ease as, I mean, the first shots don't really go one way or the other. As we just keep setting up into this now. Robo about to finish already the first deck of the game on the map here from both sides. Robo Facility and Stargate, so a bit of a difference between the two of them. See if MaNa wants to invest into a shield battery in the mineral line to help defend, or of course, whether we'll see ShoWTimE just hide that Oracle until two of them are ready at the same time, because then you can kind of bypass the healing of the shield battery because you just insta-kill the worker. Obviously that helps out a lot as well. For Stalkers moving forwards. Next is about 60-70% of the way done, and Oracle coming through into the center of the map as well. A few more Stalkers on the way up right now is, again, just another couple Stalkers warping in up on the high ground, and just going to be seeing ShoWTimE a little bit backwards and forwards here, but MaNa has a lot of units. I mean, one base, right? One base, 3 gates. Robo is up as well here for MaNa, has a warp prism, so he's going to get aggressive as the first Oracle is just going to drain the shield battery of energy, and eventually we'll get a kill, right? But takes a very long time, and that's kind of the issue at the moment. As we're going to see the second Oracle gets picked off. It's kind of a huge deal as now MaNa is on the aggressive, and well, I don't think ShoWTimE really has enough to defend this here. Another one base attempt that looks as though it's starting to work out. The fact the second Oracle doesn't arrive is huge because it would have picked off so many of these workers. As it stands, now MaNa's just going to attack across, and he's not even going to waste time with this natural, I don't think. I mean, he's going to get the pylon. I wouldn't blame him for just going up this ramp, though. I mean, honestly, a lot of potential here. He's going to start loading Stalkers onto the other side of this, so he's just going to keep on fighting. I mean, that's why, obviously, the force field here is kind of nice, but just continue to micro around. As melee units come into range, he'll micro back over this ramp, because obviously then you can still shoot those units from a distance. You'll see the shield battery finishes on the high ground, but too many Stalkers, and I think we're going into a game number 5, because ShoWTimE is out of answers right now. MaNa just has so many units. This Warp Prism, has been so useful, but the Void Ray is actually coming into play, but the Prismatic Alignment makes it move so slowly that it's actually just carried away from until the Stalkers gather themselves up together, and it's GG. We're going to a 5th and final game of this series. Match time in this Protoss versus Protoss. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Protoss player from Armor Team. Give it up if you're cheering on ShoWTimE. Top right, blue Protoss Team Liquid's MaNa has brought it back from an 0-2 deficit to take it to all 5 games in this series. Been a lot of fun so far, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to bring you guys even more action as we continue our way through this. And we look to see just what will be happening next. As you see this probe of ShoWTimE comes down to the low ground, gets ready to do some bits and pieces as MaNa starts up his warp gate, Stalker and a sentry. Both players mirroring each other so far. Obviously, expansions are generally on the mind here when you see an early sentry. You know, if a sentry coming out, it's definitely not an aggressive unit early game. Later on, definitely can be used aggressively with force fields, but definitely not early. You're not going to wander across the map with a sentry. And it just in general means that you're not going to throw down like super fast tech either, because it's a very gas intensive unit. So immediately it says, okay, well, let's go. Sentry Stalker, gonna expand from here and get ready to rumble. Stalker comes out, and actually so far MaNa is going to hide his units away, maybe just waiting for more Stalkers, maybe doesn't want to reveal that he's got a sentry out, because it does give ShoWTimE some information, like I've just been talking about. You know, we were able to deduce that there's probably not going to be an aggressive attack, etc. So showing a sentry especially would be maybe not a great thing to show, and showing just one Stalker is a little bit interesting as well, because it's like, well, what else do you make with just one Stalker? You know, why is there only one of them and not 2? It's a little bit interesting here. As you are going to see, the next 2 Stalkers going to hide themselves as well. MaNa just containing information, as he will get ready to throw the Nexus down though, but ShoWTimE going to have about a 30-second lead on that one, with a Robo Facility starting up already in the main base as well. Nexus is on the way up right now, a pylon off over to the side as this probe comes in, and we'll start to work away at some bits and pieces. Going to be seeing the Twilight Council dropping down as well here from MaNa, and the Warp Gate on the way up from both players as well. That's going to be completing fairly soon, as you see the Robo is about halfway done. I'm just going to be finishing up shortly, I would imagine. And then into probably an Observer nice and quick, just for safety's sake, then an Immortal. Depends what he's afraid of, right? Like, if he's afraid of a big attack, an Immortal should come out. If he's afraid of, you know, DT Rush, then an Observer. Either is kind of viable right now. Initially, I just feel Observer Immortal is definitely something you can get away with. And as he scouts here, I guess he probably will see, okay, I can probably get away with either. So, sees the Twilight Council just finishing, so maybe an Immortal. I mean, the Observer's still a choice as well, though, right? Because the Observer's always going to have uses in terms of getting on the map and kind of following around. He's going to be seeing some Stalkers and Sentries just setting up on top of this high ground. Forge on the way from both players now. That Blink does start up here from MaNa. Nexus about to finish. Robo Facility about to finish. As we continue our way through this now, going to see that probe being Chrono boosted out, and as the probe gets Chrono boosted away here, we are just going to be seeing a couple more Stalkers of MaNa being warped in currently on the natural, and another couple of probes moving down as well. Blink is being Chrono boosted out also. And as the Observer coming out now from MaNa, ShoWTimE in the end did go Observer into the Immortal production, but such a fast Forge here, identifying that he's playing macro against macro, and so he's just like, okay, well, I'll throw down the Forge nice and quick, get that upgrade started, and so is MaNa. Both players not skipping a beat here so far, and really setting up into what we haven't really seen so far in this PvP series, which is kind of a more straight-up longer game of kind of, you know, Charge Lot, Immortal Archon, or even just kind of, well, whatever, really, like any sort of later game composition. We've not seen any of that lately. So that's something that'll be interesting to see now. What's up, the Boot 100? How are you doing, my friend, with the 4-month resub? Thank you so much. Give me some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, for the Boot 100 and the 4 months. Let's see some love in the chat, as we will be seeing MaNa throwing down the gold base in celebration of that 4-month sub. He's getting that going, and obviously that could be a bit of an advantage if he gets aware of it, and if ShoWTimE isn't aware, although it isn't the craziest thing in the world to take a gold base early, and while ShoWTimE doesn't know about it just yet, it's definitely something which is within the realm of possibility of scouting here, with Hallucinated Phoenix moving into the future. It's going to be seeing this hallucination moving over to the right-hand side, and just going to be seeing where he can go, as we will see those Stalkers going to get ready to blink on up in towards the main base. Perhaps Blink is done. It's one of the big differences between the two players here early, and let's see what damage MaNa can do, as he's going to go straight for the pylon that's powering 2 of the gateways. I mean, that slows down production, of course, although that force field is going to miss a little bit. Nothing actually ends up being lost there. That's pretty crazy too. What's up, Matt, my friend, as well? How you doing with the Twitch Prime sub in the chat? Let's have a sub party. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime as well, mate. It's going to be seen. Oh, the Immortal grabs the Stalker there right away. Observer nearly goes down. Interesting how he tries to target the Observer of all things here. It's not like MaNa has a Dark Shrine on the way up or anything. He's trying to get DTs in. Interesting choice of target. I wonder if that was maybe a misclick while trying to target an Immortal instead. I would imagine it's something he wants to try and prioritize in this scenario, as we do see this Observer going to pull back around over to the right side. I'm just going to be seeing the 3 extra units just setting up here from ShoWTimE. The third Nexus coming down this left side too. +2 attack on both players. Charge on the way up from both as well. Extra gateways coming through. We're going to see these Stalkers going to get a chance maybe to blink up in towards this high ground in a moment or so. Now the Observer's being targeted again. I can understand ShoWTimE wanting to target an Observer. Oh my god, the Observer of ShoWTimE goes down just before this Observer does. I can understand ShoWTimE wanting to target Observer because then he gets rid of high ground vision for those Stalkers to harass. But it was the fact that MaNa targeted ShoWTimE's Observer as a little bit interesting, but maybe it's because he was trying to get that to get killed off so then he couldn't lose his own Observer for something like that. So, interesting scenario as well. Oh my god, we're going to see Disruptors? Oh my god, we've not seen Disruptors in forever. I was talking about a lot about this at WSG. I was like, will we see Disruptors in one of these matchups? We didn't really. We saw 1 or 2 of them being made but never fired. Now we're actually going to get to see some Disruptors coming into this PvP matchup. So that's an interesting way to wrap up this series here then. MaNa playing Disruptors, and what's coming up here from ShoWTimE? Double Stargate. And you might be thinking, double Stargate? What on earth? So it's actually going to be the Phoenix coming out here from ShoWTimE. The idea being with Phoenix on the way out, he's going to be able to get across the map, lift up those Disruptors and shut them down nice and quickly, and stop them from firing. So that's going to be the goal here from ShoWTimE. 2 very different compositions, 2 very different ways of playing. The response of ShoWTimE really being a response, and not just kind of like a, yeah, let's make 10-minute Phoenix. No, it really is like a, oh, you've got Disruptors, well, let's get some Phoenix up to counteract that. There's going to be seen army supplies are pretty even, +2 upgrades are within 20-30 seconds of each other. I mean, worker count's pretty good as well. The biggest difference so far really is the gold base from MaNa against just the normal third base here from ShoWTimE. Although ShoWTimE is able to knock down those rocks, it's a little bit more safely. It's interesting that these probes mine with purple laser beams on the... They're mine with purple laser beams here as well. Is that different? I really feel that's different to usual. Anyways, we are going to see the Stalkers get rid of those rocks and ready to push on through. The Disruptors will work wonders in these choke points, and maybe that's why MaNa chooses to play Disruptors here on Eastwatch, a very choke-heavy map. First Disruptor shot comes forward and will connect nicely onto an Archon and a Stalker. Next Disruptor shot gets 2 Zealots, a Sentry, and finishes the Archon. That Disruptor's a little bit far back and has to pull it to the side there. The initial Phoenix here not able to actually come into play, not able to put themselves to use just yet. But maybe now, as here we go, you're going to see these Disruptors starting to be lifted up, and actually going to see some Zealots from the south side doing a good job of this. There's a Disruptor shot that does not go off, but the second one connects heavily on the Immortals, and now Zealots warping in. MaNa's going to be able to start overrunning this. Blinks forward, and look how damaged those Immortals are from the previous Disruptor hits. With Disruptors still alive, it looks as though MaNa has a bit too much, and from an 0-2 deficit, MaNa is going to turn this around, and he is going to take Game 5 from 0-2 to 3-2, and he takes down ShoWTimE, who just a week and a half ago now showed us some fantastic PvP.